This is a brief video to provide a guided meditation for you to anchor in your higher self-consciousness. If you'd like more explanation about this, I invite you to check out our YouTube channel, which is called Activation Coaching. We've got several free videos there that will explain more about this higher self divine technology. For the purpose of today's video, I'm just going to get right to it because I wanted to create a video that you could use anytime you needed to recenter yourself. So if you are feeling stressed out or overwhelmed by difficult feelings, this is a great meditation to do. And we'll begin now. So you're welcome to close your eyes if that's safe for you. Even if you're in a place where you cannot close your eyes, such as if you're driving, or if for whatever reason that just doesn't feel good to you. Sometimes when people have trauma, closing the eyes can actually feel quite threatening and stressful because it connects us inside. So you're welcome to keep the eyes open. But we're going to slow down the breathing. And I always like to remind people when we anchor in the higher self that you are already the higher self. And even though we use this word higher to describe this self, in actuality, it isn't higher than us or lower. It's more like we are inside of it and it is inside of us. That's sort of the paradox. The higher self is always available. Just like when there's a crazy storm at noon, the sun is still there behind the storm. So no matter how intense or chaotic the weather of your emotions or the mental chatter is, the higher self is always there, present, available, patiently waiting. Everyone has a higher self, regardless of levels of trauma that you've experienced, regardless of whether or not you experienced self-led people around you growing up. Everyone has access to this. So just knowing that can be very helpful. You don't have to have any special skills or abilities to be able to connect with this, because this is really the essence of who you are. The higher self is who you were before you took on this body and this name and this story. And it's who you will be once this story has ended and once you leave this body. So it is your birthright to allow this vibration and this consciousness to expand inside of you. And in fact, the body really loves the presence of the higher self. It feels so good. So keeping that in mind, just slow down the breath as much as you can. This is going to automatically slow down your nervous system and slow down your brain waves. And on your next inhale, pulling in the vibration of compassion and connection. The higher self is compassionate without effort. From the perspective of the higher self, everyone is just another self. Everyone is an aspect of source consciousness having a physical experience. So when you're always in that awareness, it's very easy to stay compassionate when you know that everything is connected. The higher self never leaves unity consciousness. So it's always aware of the fundamental connectedness of all of us, regardless of this experience of separateness here. So relaxing and with nice, slow, long breaths, just allow that compassion and that sense of connection to all that is. Fill up your entire being. And on the next exhale, we're going to release this vibration out into the world in all directions, sending it to all our brothers and sisters. Has nothing to do with whether anyone is deserving or not. This is everyone's right, everyone's birthright to connect with this energy. On the next inhale, we're going to pull in the vibration of calm clarity. The higher self is not limited by linear time. The higher self is immortal and aware of its immortality. So it doesn't have an agenda. It has no need to panic. It has no need to force anything. The higher self can remain present and calm regardless of external circumstances, regardless of any turmoil you're feeling within. Because the higher self always has the perspective that this is a temporary experience and that we are infinite beings. It doesn't divert from that awareness, so it remains calm and clear and centered and present. So just allow that vibration, which is what you already are at your core, at your essence, allow that to fill up your entire being. And on the next exhale, we're going to release the calm clarity into the world around us. Two more rounds. On the next inhale, filling up your being with courage and confidence. If you are aware that everyone is another self, if you are always in unity consciousness, if you are not in separation and everyone is another you, mechanically, there is just no space left for fear. There is nothing to be afraid of. If everyone is you, what is there to fear? The higher self is always aware of this. So it can easily be confident and courageous. It is connected to all of life. So there's no panic, there's no fear, there's no competition. So this courage and confidence of the higher self, it's very centered and compassionate. It has nothing to do with belittling others. It has nothing to do with putting others down. It has nothing to do with proving itself. Because for the higher self, confidence, calmness, clarity, and ultimate victory is a foregone conclusion. So it's very easy to remain in this vibration for the higher self. This is the witness aspect that doesn't get traumatized. It witnesses the trauma. It is compassionate about the trauma, but it ultimately does not get traumatized. So the higher self is always aware that this is a massive play. This is a massive theater. We're all playing roles. But when the play ends, we will still exist. When the play gets very dramatic, the higher self is always aware that it is just a play. And so the higher self has that spaciousness, that perspective that allows it to stay calm, confident, and courageous. On the next exhale, we're going to release confidence and courage into the world around us. Let it spread in all directions. Okay, one more round. On the next inhale, pulling in curiosity and creativity. Because the higher self has no agenda, because it literally has all the time in the world, in the universe, it can show up with this spacious, open presence that we call curiosity. And this lack of agenda that creates this spaciousness, it feels so good to be around it. Because the higher self can be present with what is, without rushing, without trying to hurry up and change it, without telling you you're not allowed to feel that way or behave that way. It can stay curious and present and give you space. It can allow you to be as you are in this moment, whether that's happy, sad, frightened, angry, stressed, anxious, joyous. So the higher self can be equally present and curious, whether we have so-called bad vibrations or so-called good vibrations. And when we can drop the agendas, when we can step into the now and get curious, this literally shifts our awareness. And it opens portals that lead us to creative solutions that we literally could not see or access when we were in the more narrow awareness, the more narrow vision of a fragment of our consciousness, of our human personality, of a traumatized part. So again, breathing it in, this is your essence. What you already are is curious and creative. Even with no schooling, with no degrees, even without much experience. You are creative and curious. On the next exhale, we're going to release the creativity and curiosity into the world around us. Taking a few moments to breathe that in, allowing it to anchor in, allowing every cell in your body to vibrate with compassionate connection, with calm clarity, with confident courage, with curiosity and creativity. Notice that the higher self brings presence in the now. The higher self is persistent. It can remain present no matter how triggered you are or how triggered others may be. The higher self can also be playful. And the most beautiful thing is the higher self is what you already are, without any effort, without any schooling, without any practice, without even any sense of morality or deserving it. We all have a higher self. So when you are feeling stressed out, when you're having a challenge, as much as possible, anchor this energy in. If the fear, the anxiety, the anger, the sadness is so overwhelming that you can't make space around it, see if you can externalize it, and if necessary, you can even get a physical object to represent it. So it could be a doll, it could be a puppet, it could be a crystal, it could be a pillow, it could be a salt and pepper shakers representing these aspects of you that are stressed out or having a hard time. So creating a little bit of separation between you and the strong feelings, and then doing this meditation to anchor in the calm, centered, higher self, and then address those fears, anxieties, angers, or sadnesses from this place. Now, if you need more help and support doing that, I encourage you to go to the Activation Coaching YouTube page. We've got plenty of free content. You can also subscribe to our mailing list. Go to activationcoaching.com and subscribe. There's a box on the homepage. And we don't send lots of emails, but when we do email, it's because we have special offers, workshops, special calls, and also an online school. So you'll be informed about all of that. So for now, I hope you enjoy the feeling of this beautiful, compassionate, connected, clear presence that is who you already are. And may you feel empowered to bring that in life and to bring that to our brothers and sisters when they are triggered as well. Namaste.